She was called Madame Eloise by the town, though few remembered her first name. It had softened over time, like the lace curtains in her windows, yellowed but still delicate. She lived alone at the edge of the village, in a narrow house wrapped in climbing roses that bloomed fiercely each spring, as if they alone knew her secrets. Eloise had once been the most beautiful woman anyone had ever seen. People still said so, though now it was a quieter beauty, silver hair coiled neatly at her nape, eyes pale as winter skies, skin lined like a well-read book. She walked slowly but with dignity, her cane tapping the stones in a steady rhythm that made children pause and listen, as if it were a kind of music. She had no children. No photographs lined her walls, no small shoes hidden under beds, no birthday drawings pinned to the fridge. When neighbors spoke of their sons and daughters, their grandchildren's laughter and noisy visits, she only smiled and nodded. She never corrected them when they assumed she must have had some once, somewhere. In truth, Eloise had chosen a different life, one of long afternoons spent painting the same garden over and over, trying to catch the exact shade of sunlight on rose petals. She had loved deeply once, long ago, but he had died young, leaving her with a house full of light and silence. She never married again. She said love had been enough, and repeating it would only make it smaller. The village children often visited her anyway. They were drawn to the way she listened, truly listened, as if each story about a lost toy or a playground quarrel were a matter of great importance. She kept a tin of biscuits just for them and never scolded muddy shoes on her clean floor. When they left, she would sit in her armchair and watch the dust motes dance in the air, smiling to herself. On warm evenings, she opened all the windows and let the breeze wander through the rooms. It lifted the curtains and stirred the pages of her old letters. Sometimes she spoke aloud, softly, to no one the neighbors could see. Yet there was no sadness in her voice, only a calm companionship with memory. One autumn afternoon, a little girl asked her, "Madame Eloise, are you lonely because you don't have children?" Eloise looked at her for a long moment, then took her small hand in both of hers, warm and wrinkled. "My dear," she said gently, "I have had a life full of people. Some stayed, some didn't. Some were born to me, and some were simply sent to me for a while. Love does not always need to grow in your house to belong to you." The girl didn't fully understand, but she nodded anyway. Years later, when Eloise's roses still bloomed but her windows stayed closed, the village felt an unfamiliar quiet. They buried her beneath the garden she had painted so many times. And though she had no children of her own, the funeral was crowded, grown men and women clutching their memories of biscuits, stories, and the way she had listened to them as if they mattered more than anything in the world. They all said the same thing as they left the grave, though none knew the others were thinking it too: she had lived alone. But she had never truly been without family.